What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I'll be talking about how to make macro counting simple, so you can actually hit your targets and hit your goals. But before I dig in, just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've been enjoying the show, please rate the show, subscribe, and share it. Just helps me help more people, or get in front of more people, which helps me help more people, which is the goal of the show. Because there's a lot of crap out there, as I talked about in my last episode. Yeah, how do you make hitting your macro targets easy? Those who fail to prepare to fail. So it requires preparation. And this is what I've been talking about a lot lately. I actually had a conversation with some other coaches, and we were like, how do we help our clients hit their calorie targets week over week? And usually what I've noticed with clients that struggle, they just don't prepare. They fly by the seat of their pants, if that's the right saying. I mix up sayings all the time. For the most part, the clients that struggle to get their workouts in, it's the same thing. They don't have a plan. They don't schedule it in. Same thing with food. They don't go grocery shopping, or they don't have a plan when they do. And so then when they come home, they're like, well, what am I going to make? And it's like, well, you should have made your grocery list beforehand. And then with a plan in mind, and then use that plan to make some meals or prep some ingredients to make it easy to whip together some meals. And I will say, my life for food is a lot easier than a lot of people's. I work from home. This is my office in my house. My kitchen is right next door. Just walk out around the living room, boom, I'm there. I do prep, but I don't do meal prep containers because I don't need to. I just have carbs and proteins prepped, and I heat them up when I need my next meal. I pre-plan what I'm going to eat the night before, but I don't have to partition it into a Tupperware. So it makes it a little bit easier if I need to mix things up. Or if I'm like, I don't really want to eat that today, I have this other thing, I'll switch it around. So it is not as complicated as people think, but it is because most people haven't done this before. Because most people aren't as food focused as I am. Most people are like, what sounds good? I'm going to eat that. They don't think about, hey, I have these goals. I want to build muscle, burn body fat. I need to hit this protein number. How much protein do I need per meal? How can I get that? How can I prepare for that to make sure that I get that amount of protein per meal, right? Most people don't think that way. Most people they don't think about their meals. They don't think about them before they happen. They're just like, dang, I'm hungry, time to eat. And so it's a mindset shift, right? And if you're trying to change your body composition, you do have to think about food. You do. That's what's going to make it easier to reach your goals. As I said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you don't have food available, if you don't go to the grocery store, you're not going to hit your protein intake. There's no way. You're not going to hit your calorie targets. You're probably going to overexceed calories because when you go out to eat, there's a lot of fat in foods, which increases the calories. And then you're not going to hit your protein intake because protein's expensive. So you go to a restaurant, they give you 3 ounces of meat. That's like 20 grams of protein. You probably need 8 times that for your total goals for the day. So, and it's good to have, if you do like to go out to eat, or sometimes where you work, you guys do lunches, it's good to have ideas of staples that will help you meet those needs, like the protein and fiber goals and calorie goals. But that should not be the norm because, one, it's harder to control the amount of calories. Depending on who's serving, you might have heavy-handed Susan giving you 2 scoops of guac You can go Chipotle, they like scoop the guac on there. Or you might have light-handed Larry who gives you half a scoop. You never know. And you don't know how much oil they put in when they cook the fajita veggies this time, or when they cook the chicken thighs, or if they even put oil in the rice. You don't know. Talking about Chipotle, people. Chipotle is a great option though. It's a better option than most, but point being is if that's what you rely on all the time, it's going to be really hard to hit your goals because you have less control over the variables. So, number 1 is if you are going out to eat, or you have to go out to eat sometimes, having a plan, having a couple options from each location, each restaurant that you like to visit, that helps you hit your protein intake. Makes it easy. And calories, right? You want to be mindful of that too. But the best thing to do is to have meals that you like to make that are easy, simple, that allow you to hit those goals. Because then if you do that, tracking is going to be way easier because you're eating pretty similar things week over week. It might not be the same every day, it might not be the same every week, but you'll probably have half a dozen or so meals on repeat. So, my breakfast is the same every day. I love it. It's delicious. I get fried eggs, or I fry up some eggs and egg whites over a bed of rice and broccoli and spinach. Saute down some spinach, and I use this garlic and herb seasoning from Costco that tastes absolutely delicious. And then I'll have some fruit on the side. I get a solid amount of protein, solid amount of carbs, solid amount of nutrients, and solid amount of fiber. And that's just my go-to. Every morning I have the same thing. Lunches and dinner vary, but I have probably like 4 of each that I kind of rotate. So it's pretty simple. So if I stop tracking, it would be pretty easy for me to maintain my weight because I have the meals that I eat on repeat. So, first action item, plan. Write a list down of the ingredients that you need to hit your goals, or come up with meals that you like to eat. Adjust the amount of protein and calories based on what your body needs, what your goals are. Write a list of the ingredients, go to the store, and set aside an hour to prep them. 5 lunches, 5 breakfasts. Dinner's probably going to have more variety, especially if you have kids, or if you like to go out to eat once or twice a week. It's probably dinner, usually. Depends on the client. A lot of networking, clients that do business networking, usually they go out to eat a little bit more. But once you have those, then it's going to be really easy to hit your targets. And let's say right now, like you come up with some staple meals and they're not perfect and you're working with a coach. Well, that's what the coach will do. The coach will help you adjust the meals slightly so that you do hit those macro targets. But point being, how to hit your calories and macros, you have to prepare in some capacity. The other thing I like to do, if you do have more flexibility like I do in my schedule, or you do like to change things day in and day out, is the night before, track your food for the day. If you're like, okay, tomorrow, I'm going to get a coffee with my husband. That's probably going to be about 200 calories. And, well, we are doing a business networking lunch at this restaurant, so I need to account for that. So you plug it in, and then you adjust your breakfast and dinner to hit those targets. Easy peasy. But oftentimes people are like, oh yeah, I was going out to eat today, and I didn't know how to track it, and I didn't know what to get. And it's like, yeah, because you didn't prepare, you didn't think about it beforehand. So think about it beforehand, prepare in some capacity, and maybe you're like, I don't want to track macros right now. I'm not ready for that. That's cool. Don't worry. But still look at the menu, look at the calories, and look at the protein of the items that you're going to consume. because that's going to help you get prepared and set up for when you are ready to do those things. But at least if you're thinking and you're more mindful about the food choices that you're making, you're going to see some changes. I have some clients right now that aren't tracking, and we're just working on food choices. They both have a lot of networking meals because one runs a business and the other volunteers very heavily with the charity, and a lot of those interactions are around food. So instead of trying to be perfect and track everything and hit those things, that's kind of overwhelming for them right now. So I'm like, look, just be mindful. These things have a lot of calories in them, so it's good to know that, right? If you're trying to lose weight, right? Like a salad dressing could be 500 calories. So oftentimes people think, oh, salad's healthier than the sandwich. And it's like, no, honestly, if you get a sandwich and you just say no mayo, that's probably going to be a better and healthier option than the salad dressing, the salad with the salad dressing, even though there's more fruits and vegetables and stuff. The sandwich will probably have less calories and probably more protein. Depends where you go, but you get the gist. So just learn about, and that's why I like tracking, right? Because you learn about what is in the foods that you eat. If you don't track, you don't know. You just don't know. Like, for finances, people track their finances all the time, right? People have budgets. If you spend money, but you don't know how much money you have coming in or going out, you might be in debt. Who knows? I hate tracking my finances. I hate it. I do it because otherwise, I don't know how much room I have in my budget. Same thing with the calories. If you want to change your body composition, you just have to. You have to track. You have to figure out where you're at. Because you probably don't know. And when I don't track, I'm way off. I'm super off. Most people are. I usually undereat protein and overeat calories. Because when you're undereating protein, you're less full. So you eat more. And that's oftentimes, what I think, why most people eat a lot, is the foods that they're eating are not very nutrient dense, so they're not actually satiated. There is some emotional eating and other things, but most people don't eat enough fiber or protein. When you bump those numbers, which is what I do first, with my clients first, we focus on protein and fiber. It's going to improve gut health, ability to build muscle, fullness, energy levels, recoverability, all the things. And usually they lose weight without even talking about calories. I'm just like, hey, focus on hitting this protein intake. And they do that and they start to feel awesome. And it's like, wow, oh my gosh, I'm leaning out, I'm feeling better, I'm getting stronger. And it's like, yeah, you're giving your body the tools it needs to repair, and you're eating less of the crap that causes inflammation and that isn't filling. Processed food is made to be overate and overindulged. So, anyway, how to make hitting your calories and macros easier? Prepare. It could be preparing meals. It could be tracking ahead of time, tracking the night before, tracking the morning of the day. It could be going to the grocery store, creating a list of staples. It could be auditing the restaurants you like to eat at and just finding better options on the menu. So anyway, hopefully this episode was helpful. If it was, please share the show, rate the show, subscribe, like, comment. And if you have any questions, you can just hit me up and chat with me on social media. I believe it's linked below too. As I've said in a couple episodes, I do this because I care and I want to help people. And I know not everybody can afford coaching. Coaching is the best because you get that one-on-one feedback day in and day out. But that doesn't mean I'm a gatekeeper. If you have questions about what I chatted about, just shoot me a message. But yeah, that is all. Hopefully it was helpful. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.